Basically, we control all the lights, we control all the blinds. The house has sort of like a mesh network in it as well, so we use Sonos throughout the house for music. And I think I'm looking then to other things like perhaps the automated gates and some of the security systems. That hasn't been implemented yet, but I see it as a component type system, so we should be able to add into the system as we think of new things. But even just controlling the lights and the blinds, I think, has proved, it's a real great system to have. Well, I think the benefits are really interesting when you get into it. And so the benefits for me really are this central control of everything. So there's a story, just not long after we moved into the house, we went back to my family in Wales. Very hot summer, I think we had last year. So we were going down the road in the car on the M4 motorway, and my wife said, "Did we close the blinds?" I said, "I don't think I did, sorry. It's going to be very hot in that house," because we were still regulating the temperature in the house. And I said, "Well, we've got an app, why don't we try it?" So going down the M4 in the car, we tried the app, we closed the blind, and it worked. And I think that was a realization that actually the remote control and the centralized control through the app is very, very useful. Whether you're sat in the lounge area watching the television, or whether you're actually driving down the M4 in the car. It's quite a useful system, and I think closing a blind is not vitally important, but actually some of the other things you have in the house can be quite important. So I like that idea. The benefits when we were building the house, the electrician actually liked this system putting in. He hadn't done anything like this before, but the simplicity of the wiring, the simplicity of the switches, and the ability to put the switches in the wet areas in the house, which is something you never ever do in building, that was quite a benefit to him as well, he saw, in terms of implementing the electrics. I think it's a very, very flexible system. There's more to come, quite frankly. I don't think we're realizing all the benefits from it, but just living with it as a normal house, I think we're seeing quite a lot. Favorite feature? Well, the app has got to be one of the favorite features, basically because it drives all those benefits you have, right? And it's a very well laid out app. I like using it, it's very easy to use. So central control of the app, I think, is paramount to it. The flexibility of the system is interesting as well. It's a very clean system. When I went out eventually to look at options for the house, we looked at some of the Control 4 and some of the other type systems out there. They all seemed a bit messy to me. They all seemed connecting different bits together. And I think this one, ever since I started looking at it, has been a very clean, concise sort of system. And I think that shows, actually. The house we built here is very different to one we've lived in before. It's sort of a very open plan, it's very contemporary, it's supposed to be a social environment. Lockdown hasn't been great for a lot of people, but for us, it proved that we could live in it. So everything is automated, everything is controlled, and I think the automation system for lights and blinds just added to that, really, quite frankly. The other thing which people don't often notice, I don't think, is my mother-in-law lives here with us, and she's got arthritis. And the switches are so nice to use that she can just tap the switch with the back of her hand, because her hands are arthritic, and she can control the lights and the blinds in her room. So to me, that was a feature we didn't realize, but actually living with it, you come across these things in the system, I think. That was wonderful for her, because she was able to then use a technical system, and it didn't seem technical to her at all. It was a tap of the back of the hand, and it fits in with her lifestyle, certainly. I think a lot of automation, you assume it's just going to happen. So behind the system, there's a programming system to it. So it means I can go in and change the scenes, change the lighting. I haven't really got into that, quite honestly, yet. But I think the potential is there to change the system as your lifestyle changes, almost. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to spend some time on that. It looks quite user-friendly, so it shouldn't be too difficult.
That's one great lifestyle question. We had our daughter come to stay with us for a while, and she sleeps through everything. And we were all in different parts of the house. We were all over the shop. One morning the alarm went off on our phone. Everybody else could hear it but her. So we picked our phones up and started opening and shutting her blind just to try to see if we could wake her up with lights coming into the room. So yeah, we didn't realise what benefits the system would have.
Not in the brochure, but hey, you never know what you'll find out with Niko.
It was highly important from our point of view because when we moved in, we didn't have a clue what we were doing. We didn't know how to even turn the cooker on. And then, you know, we just thought, right, well, just get Thomas back in, and he was great. He sort of goes through everything nice and simply, and it looks quite complicated perhaps when you first sort of look at it and you just think, no, it's easy, just get your phone out and all you need to do is, and he tells you exactly how to operate everything.
I think for us also, the support that Thomas gave at the very beginning of the process was really important. I mean, people don't realise that you do still have to plan this system. So we got early access to Thomas, his advice, where he'd done it before, what he thought would work in the house, gave us some of the benefits. You know, he justified spending a fair bit of money on the system which was put into this new house. And I think he did a really good job of that. He spent a lot of time with us as we walked through the house, sighting switches, building scenes, thinking about how you use light in your house, which is quite important actually, it's very unusual. And then of course when it came to actually installing the system, he was there for the electricians and the builders to talk to and liaise with. So before we actually got to use the buttons, he was very, very important in terms of supporting that. And he continues to be a support now because, as I said, the system can be programmed and adjusted to suit your lifestyle, and sometimes you might need Thomas's help to help you do that. So he's always available, and it's been a key part of the success of the project, I think.